So a couple weeks ago, I asked this question about the journey that we've been on through COVID-19, and I think it's a really important question that we self-assess as we move into our new normal. And the question was this: if somebody met you for the first time during the last 3 to 4 months of quarantine, during COVID-19, if they met you for the first time, what evidence would they have that you're a follower of Jesus? I think this is a really important question that all of us should ask moving forward, because what we've done is removed the Sunday morning gathering, and it's forced all of us to look within ourselves and ask the question, do I really follow Jesus, or do I just go to church? Am I simply a fan of Jesus, a fan of Christianity, or am I actually a follower, a disciple of Christ? And I think far too often we settle for the title of Christian when we actually don't follow Jesus, and we should never actually have that title anyway. And we're talking about persecution lately, and Matthew records Jesus saying, "Blessed are those who are persecuted." Now this is crazy, absolutely mind-blowing. And a few months ago when we were in COVID, I was reading a book called The Insanity of Obedience. And I want to recommend that book to you. Just pick up a copy of it, and it's going to blow your mind. It's going to challenge you, and maybe some of the perspectives you have about persecuted people and persecution in the church. I think for most of us, the highest idol, the biggest God in our lives is actually personal safety. And maybe we wouldn't admit it, but what we'd like to be honest about here today is that in many ways, God has a mission for us, and honestly, the cost is too great. The risk is too high, and we're not sure we're really willing to go that far for the sake of the gospel. But blessed are the persecuted. And inherent in persecution, listen to this, inherent in persecution is evangelism. It's the willingness to share the gospel. That's what the word evangelism means. It's somebody who is sharing good news. And so for us today, for you today, I wonder for you, are you somebody who's living a life worth being persecuted? Are you the kind of person that shares the gospel in such a way that your friends say, hey, you're taking this Jesus thing a little too far. You just need to tone it back a little bit? Because as I read the words of Jesus, and as I see the movement of the early church through the book of Acts, what I see is God's people being persecuted in the ministry of the gospel exploding to the nations. And so that's what we want to be, ACF Church. We want to be an explosion of the ministry of the gospel from Alaska to the ends of the earth. We want to have an Acts 1:8 mission, but I want you to know that's not going to happen if we're not willing to sacrifice and be willing to be persecuted even sometimes for the message that we have to share. So be bold, share the gospel, love people, and you may be persecuted, but you'll be on track with God's kingdom rather than the kingdom of this world. Love you, ACF.